Donnie this year, there is a plan, and if the plan comes to fruition, then you've got yourself a pretty decent situation, and if it doesn't, it completely destroys your organization.
Okay, exactly. Can you give us a little hint if you know anything on that plan?
Well, I think the first part of the plan, when we sat down with him the other day in the media room, he said, yeah, we got plan A, B, C, D. You know, they're always prepared at 8 just because you have to kind of see what happens and you know.
Well, the other teams trade, like we have a trade now.
I'm pretty sure they were plan C already.
I think they're probably on either B or C for sure. But then you have the situation where Washington's pick at 5 was available. I believe they wanted Wilson Chandler, and Donnie and D'Antoni, they weren't ready to kind of pull the plug on Wilson yet, because I still think if they need to move Curry down the line, and if they can add another piece or two, then they could probably package Wilson to get rid of Curry. But Minnesota goes ahead. David Kahn is actually the understudy for Walsh, as it was for 9 years in Indiana. Jumps ahead, gets 5 and 6, so now they're sitting at 8 and trying to see what the next availability is going to be.
That trade kind of killed the next whole wanting to get Rubio, right? That kind of killed it. And on top of that, I heard rumors that Curry, that Cleveland is interested in Curry. That's what I heard, because they want a big guy, and they had a list of big guys, and Curry's on their list. I'm not saying he's #1, but Curry is on their list. I mean, if the Knicks, with this 8 pick, I mean, they could go so many different ways. It's, the Knicks are not, let's just tell the truth. They're not that good of a team, and the 2 best players are Lee and Nate Robinson. I assume, and Chandler, right? Those 2 or 3 best players. I think they're all tradable. Is anybody you want to keep? I mean, I would trade anybody in this team who's going to make my team better.
Chandler's probably a Gallinari.
Yeah, but Chandler's a guy that, bad team, playing good. He probably is at his peak right now. These are the kind of guys you got to roll the dice and trade now where they got some kind of value. Like, Lee got value right now, and if you could get somebody who could,
I don't think Lee has the value he had earlier in the year, no?
And the thing with Lee is you hear this stuff about Jordan Hill. If Jordan Hill's going to be around at 8, they're not trading up for Jordan Hill. But then you can look at the Clippers once they bring in Blake Griffin and Randolph and Kaman and Marcus Camby could also be available. And then there's a story from ESPN's Mark Stein today saying that Darko Milicic for Q could be a situation. They've been after Darko for 2 years for one reason or another. If you can somehow bring in Darko and Camby,
I would love to get back.
What does that leave Lee? Then you can kind of shop Lee in a sign and trade and get maximum value for him.
But I say Lee peaked at mid-season. His value was as high.
He's a double-double though. The guy's a good player.
Oh, he's a solid player. And this is what we know about Lee. Lee, in the beginning, I thought he was going to take a hometown discount, to stay here. He wants to be a Knick. He's always said he wanted to win a championship. He's always said the right things about New York. He wants the money. And he's going to probably, can't blame him, he's going to probably sign for the most money. And if that's 8 or 9 or 10, probably not 8, if it's $9 or $10 million from another team, he's going to be gone. And in that instance is when Donnie picks up the phone and starts talking about signing trades. So he has to acquire some big guys so that if Lee just goes, that he can kind of have a fallback plan. Hence what they did, I think, with Wilcox at the end of last year, kind of giving him some incentive to say that if this guy plays good, we may not need you, David. So there's a lot of things that are going on.
You actually said that to him with Wilcox?
No.
By bringing in Wilcox, a guy who can put up relatively decent numbers. He didn't get a lot of minutes because Lee was getting the minutes, and I think that kind of deterred him a little bit. But you're talking about a guy who's a former 9th, 10th pick overall, or 8th or 9th pick overall.
He has talent. I mean, I understand.